In our first story, the Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwul, says a report on the investigation into alleged involvement of the Ghana Armed Forces personnel in illegal mining will soon be presented to his office. His assurance comes as Minister of Lands and Natural Resources John Peter Amewu earlier this week said some soldiers were providing security for illegal miners or Galamsey operators. Mr. Nitiwul, however, told my colleague MENACE Azure Awene in the following interview that the matter has since been raised by a different minister at a cabinet meeting, and the president had directed an investigation into the subject.
Tap an investigative process into the matter. It just happened that the Minister for Lands raised it publicly, but it was raised in cabinet by a different minister, and the president himself is aware of what we are doing. We asked him to give us some 1 week to do the investigation. I'm sure by the close of today, the president will know the outcome of our investigation, and then we'll get the public to know what exactly outcome we have done. The Military High Command has actually brought me the results of their investigation into this very matter, and I will go and brief the president today on it, and from there I'll brief the nation on that, the outcome of what I have gathered. The Minerals Commission, the Military High Command, the Ghana Chamber of Mines, all these people are involved if you want to know exactly what will go into an investigation. So they are all part of the people who have been asked questions regarding this very matter. But I'll brief the president first. It will not be right for me to let the public know what has happened when the president himself is aware that we are doing something about it. So once I brief the president about the outcome, it will come out. We'll get the public to know what happens. But I say that there's no cause for alarm. If there is any soldier, if there is any member of the Ghana Armed Forces that is guarding illegal mining, what we call Galamsey, there's a whole difference between legal mining and illegal mining. Legal mining is totally different. We have large scale and small scale. Then we have the illegal miners who are not licensed, who are mining on waterways, who are not supposed to mine where they're supposed to mine. If there's any soldier who's caught doing that, obviously I can say that he was not authorized, and that soldier will be dealt with. I've already made that public comment, and I've tasked the CDS to investigate that very matter. Like I said, the report has come, so we'll deal with that. But I can assure you that if there is any soldier out there who has done that kind of act, that person will be dealt with. But let the result come out. We'll state our case, and then we'll move from there.
On the subject of economies, the French ambassador to Ghana, Francois Pejrola, is calling on African economies to fast-track effort at removing trade barriers, all in a bid to promoting intra-African trading. Speaking at a conference to mark the 54th AU anniversary at the residency of the ambassador, Francois Pejrola charged African economies to urgently respond and adapt to changing nature of trade across the sub-regional markets of Africa.
Records show the level of trade among Africans themselves remain woefully inadequate, as many countries in Africa rather trade with the Western world and Asia, among others. The conference was attended by members of the diplomatic corps as well as 70 business executives from corporate Ghana and other African countries. French ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Francois Pejrola, says the economic viability of Africa is best assured if all trade barriers are removed.
Doing business in the ECOWAS region means strengthening the economic exchanges and economic integration process in the sub-region. So, as I would say, it's a diplomatic goal as well. We all can think of differences between countries of the West Africa, and those differences means also some hurdles that need to disappear to boost trade and investment in the sub-region. I would mention customs, I would mention linguistic barriers. I would also mention the fact that different currencies are used in the same sub-region, but opportunities are enormous.
Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Ghana Industries, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, outlined the available benefits and opportunities in Africa. He is confident of a unified African economy should the business community consider expanding their tentacles across the sub-region.
I think it's very important that as business community or businesses in Ghana, we always have to explore various areas of opportunities, not just in Ghana, but within the ECOWAS. We are a strong believer in ECOWAS, and we strongly believe that if you take advantage of the market opportunities, you really do serious business.
The conference was organized as part of activities lined up to commemorate the 54th celebration of the African Union Day.
And already, former President John Kufuor is prevailing on investors across the globe to consider Ghana as a major business destination in Africa. According to him, Ghana is strategically positioned to afford them the opportunity to have easy access to the African market. He has been speaking ahead of the upcoming Aerospace and Aviation Exhibition for Africa to be held in Ghana for the first time in October this year.
On the continent now, we have some countries that operate efficient airlines, like you can think of Ethiopia, you can talk of, to some extent, Kenya, but South Africa. But Ghana, even though we do not have a national airline now, Ghana has always been central. It's a crossroads for travelers, for airlines. And I believe this is why most of the European airlines fly here. It's a hub. Ghana is a hub. So you have people coming from the immediate region of West Africa, flying here to take the airlines to, say, Europe, and from here to the Middle East, from here even across the ocean to the United States of America. So when with this crossroads factor, I believe Accra could stage an international air show, because it's not the fact that you own an airline that should make for the qualification to stage a show. The fact that all these companies fly here, all these airlines fly here, and they crisscross here, is what should make this place the market to stage a show. But more importantly, is the way our airports, Accra airports, is being developed. It's been developed to a point now. I believe it provides the services for safe aviation, safety of flow for airlines. They needn't be our own airlines. Any company coming from east, west, north, south would want to stop in a place like our airport for refueling and rechandling to make passengers comfortable.
District Chief Executive nominees for Akachi North and Agoti Meziope District, all in the Volta region, have finally been confirmed by their respective assemblies. Prince Sodoke Amuzu, nominee for Akachi North, and David Dixon Jokpa, nominee for Agoti Meziope, were unable initially to poll the desired 2/3 of the total votes needed in their first attempt at confirmation. The two have since, however, been confirmed, apparently following the intervention of the Volta Regional Minister and his deputy. Here is a report by Fred Kwame-Asari.
Speaking to the media after the overwhelming endorsement, Prince Sodoke Amuzu pledged to consult stakeholders to ensure all challenges in the district are identified and resolved. He emphasized he would deliver on the development vision of President Kufuor in the district.
As a person, I'm serving the interests of Mr. President. I'm also part of the vision of the president. He has asked me to detail what he wants to do in this country. So I'm not on my own. I'm working under the instruction. As we speak, the vision of Mr. President, planting for food and jobs, has already been implemented. We are already distributing fertilizers and also crop produce, seeds for agriculture. As we speak, Mr. President has already tagged the one district, one warehouse to start. A lot of arrangement has already been started for the one district, one factory. All of these are catching up, has not been left out. And so I think work is already in progress. And once I take it, I should be able to also make sure that this is implemented very quickly for the benefit of our people.
In Commissioner Gotemazio further confirmed DCE David Dixon Jokbe outlined the improvement of access roads, education infrastructure, and expansion of potable water coverage as some of his immediate objectives. He added that they have earmarked the establishment of a tomato processing factory under the MPP government's One District, One Factory policy, while the Assembly supports the Kwetwe Community Kente Village Project initiative.
We have chosen the tomatoes factory to develop to the highest point, and equally we are already in the Kente industry. So we are taking those two projects, concurrently. We will ensure that Ghana will do it on our behalf, and everything will be okay. I targeted to do the market first for the women. Thereafter, I go onto the roads. The roads to my Apegame, very, very bad. I will champion that cause for the first quarter of the year, and I'm sure I will achieve it.
The Deputy Volta Regional Minister Maxwell Blagoji assured of the Regional Coordinating Council support to facilitate development of both districts. Fred Kwame Asari's report for JoyNews.
And before we go, fear has gripped toll booth attendants on the Adomi Bridge, who currently are anxious for their safety. One of them, Solomon Akpabli Salom, escaped narrowly death following an accident which occurred at the Akwemufie end of the Adomi Bridge in the eastern region. Well, this happened last Saturday. The accident is the second this year, in which a vehicle crossed the bridge and ran into a toll booth close to the bridge, raising safety concerns among not only motorists but also the toll booth attendants.
The previous incident saw a female attendant trapped in the booth when the vehicle knocked it out of position. According to Solomon Akpabli, he had to escape through the window when the trailer truck avoided crashing into a saloon car, and he became the target. The trailer then hit two concrete barriers, pushing them before hitting the container booth. From a distance, it was clear that some drivers were not aware of the accident, hence stopping to pay at the booth, which has not been in use since Saturday. Solomon Akpabli tells JoyNews that the mere sight of the booth reminds him of how he could have lost his life, and has called for safety measures from Ghana Highway Authority and other relevant bodies.
Yeah, Saturday we were here around 5:30 when a trailer from Volta region, but after I served the driver finishing, it has wanted to leave, and a car from Volta region also trying to escape the two, and the driver trying to save him, and he pushed the concrete together with the boots, and I have to jump through the window. I didn't know that I would have been hurt or maybe lose my life. Yeah, I'm afraid, because anytime I thought I come here, I don't know what is going to happen. Maybe the next time something like that is going to happen, maybe I may lose my soul or whatever. So I'm afraid. I think it would be better for the highways to put proper measures in place so that we can get a proper place for the booths.
Meanwhile, an eyewitness, Amobo Atema, said the situation could have been worse if a disabled, who is one of the attendants, was on duty, as escaping would have been next to impossible. She also appealed to highways to treat the impact of the accident with the urgency it deserves.
There
was a trailer at the toll booth ready to pay, and a certain private car behind the trailer decided not to.
The
driver of the private car attempted to drive away. In trying to avoid the private car crashing into him, the driver of the trailer drove into the toll booth. The attendant working at the toll booth escaped safely.
There are those who are suggesting that Ghana Highway Authority and relevant bodies must build much more secured booths for the attendants. Kwame Yanke's report for JoyNews.
And I tell you, we'll follow this report on the AM show and make sure that we come to some conclusion on the subject about the safety of the attendants and especially motorists around the booths who crisscross the Adomi Bridge. Well, let's see how it goes. We have a lot more news. We'll be looking at the newspapers. We have a lot more headlines, and we'll also be looking at the online portals. But today, we know that Adomi FM's, in Jason Sem's Captain Smart is embarking on a demonstration. They want to retrieve all monies owed the state by organizations, individuals, or those who have allegedly embezzled monies belonging to the state this morning. We'll be starting at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange here at Accra, and so we'll be following through that as we rove and get concrete answers from the demonstrators or the protesters. But this weekend we're in Kumasi. We're raising funds for our initiative, Save a Child, Save a Mother campaign. And the account numbers will be on your screen shortly. Especially the mobile money numbers are for all of us. So those who can give, go to the bank and can give the bigger sums. But 05479666664 is the MTN mobile money number. Please give us anything that you have. Your widow's mite will be so much important for us. But the account number is with Access Bank. So we have a CD equivalent account, a USD account, a Euro account, and a British Pound account. Please, we want your donations. Anything won't be too small. Again, thank you in advance for those donations. But we know that the initiative is a launch, and this time taken up by Yotumfor himself and his wife, Lady Julia, will also be leading the initiative that day, this Sunday. So make sure that you join us live on TV, radio, mobile, and online.